show. I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are keeping a very close eye on a particularly dangerous flooding situation setting on up. Excessive rainfall from an extremely rare multi-day heavy rain event is going to be with us today, tonight, tomorrow, into tomorrow night. So very heavy rain today, a high in the 60s. The heavy rain continues tonight. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. KERX, Parents Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3.
I'm just very proud that here we are. We're in the final game tonight, and maybe after tonight, we'll have a lot more respect for the Razorbacks.
Charlotte, North Carolina, burgeoning metropolis, basketball hotbed, set for a great final.
Has it taken away. McDaniel, the 4-4 sprinter. Clint McDaniel puts Arkansas ahead. Rebound to Stewart. Here's Diller now.
He's amazing. You give him an inch, he takes a mile, boy.
Strength of Williams. They got it in underneath, and Williamson puts Arkansas back in front. 20 for Williamson. Championship trophy backstage, waiting to be hoisted in the air, center stage. Game tied 70 all with 1:12 remaining. Under 10 on the shot clock.
Stewart's open.
Stewart, 1 on the shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh, he got a three-pointer.
Huge arch on that. He had to do it to get it over Lang's hands. Too much time. Too much time.
Great defense, Arkansas. They take it away. McDaniel will end it in style. Arkansas is in home heaven. They won the first ever national championship.
This is the Morning Rush.
All right, so we played the loss yesterday, and today's the anniversary of the 1994 national championship where you defeated the Duke Blue Devils 76-72. So, I'm going to be honest. I'd be okay with it raining the rest of 2025 to see a national championship in Indianapolis, Indiana in 2026. And I'm not the biggest fan of rain. I'm kind of like, I know we need it, not necessarily to the extent that we've had it in parts of our state. I was texting a friend this morning who lives in the Forest City area, and unfortunately some hail and some other things have caused damage to his property. So I know there's a lot of places across Arkansas that are experiencing the harshest of the weather this week, and hopefully you're as safe as you can be. I know there's certain just parts of nature that we can't really control, unfortunately. So hopefully the damage is minimal, whatever it ends up being here this week. We're gonna play tonight, Colton.
No chance.
Yeah, I don't. I'm looking at the weather. So my brother's in town. He got in about 9:00 last night, and he is already making plans outside of Arkansas baseball. He came up this weekend to play golf with me, which is not going to happen. So we'll go eat lunch later on today, and then to watch the Arkansas baseball series against Missouri. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Seems like y'all are going to be stuck inside watching TV.
He did text me. He texted Nick and Carrie will like this at Herman's. He texted at 6:49 this morning. All right, guys, since we're not going to baseball, let's go to Herman's tonight. So
That's a
Nick,
good backup.
Carrie will get a chance to meet my younger, more pleasant, more cool brother later on tonight. All right, it is a Fast Break Friday, the last Fast Break Friday before we shift gears into Fastball Friday next week. Fast Break Friday, always brought to you by our friends at QC Kinetix. Are you living with chronic joint pain or you just want to get comfortable? Well, the good thing is there's something for you. It's QC Kinetix. Maybe you want to golf, hike, play tennis. Well, you can do all this thanks to the medical pros at QC Kinetix. They've already treated tens of thousands of patients around the country with regenerative treatments that can help calm debilitating joint pain across your knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. And the science is solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, or any downtime. Everyone's trying to live a healthier life. Well, you can do that with QC Kinetix. So, do you think you're a candidate for these treatments? Well, you can find out. Call them 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetix. Now's the best time to get started with QC Kinetix. So, ahead for you this weekend. We'll see about Arkansas baseball, see how many games they get in. I know that, again, you want to play as much as possible. Here's Dave on the weather.
We've had such good weather. You kind of knew this was going to happen somewhere.
Sarcasm.
It looks like, we'll make a decision tomorrow morning on tomorrow's game, kind of look at the long range. Obviously, we're in touch with two different weather services and getting their opinions and then make a decision on Friday's game and then how we're going to handle Saturday. And, because Saturday we're scheduled to play at 6. If we have to move that up to catch a window to get a game in, that's what we would do. And then somehow between Saturday and Sunday, late afternoon, get 3 games in if we don't play tomorrow.
It is raining right now in Fayetteville. First pitch scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight. A 55% chance of rain scheduled first pitch time at 63 degrees. And it's kind of a bummer because tonight you're on the SEC network. Mm-hmm. You can always listen to Phil and Bubba right here. They're a phenomenal tandem. I always say this, and I'm not just blowing smoke up Phil's. You know what? My dad doesn't really like baseball, but he actually really likes to listen to Phil and Bubba. I always tell him that. But always here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com or Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. So, the situation, we'll see. You heard Dave Van Horn there. I guess by 10 o'clock today, I heard Chuck say that this morning. The SEC has to make a decision, or Arkansas has to make a decision when it comes to the Southeastern Conference. So that's what's going on right now in Fayetteville, Arkansas. As far as basketball concerned, here on a Fast Break Friday, what's the big thing this weekend? Now, of course, with Arkansas, it's, hey, what's the roster looks like? But it's the Final Four. 2 games tomorrow, Houston, Duke, and Auburn in Florida. We go live now for our opening drive to San Antonio, Texas, here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and welcome in our buddy Landrum Roberts, co-host of 3-Man Front, who's down in San Antonio right now, getting a chance to take it all in this weekend. Landrum, I saw you walking the Riverwalk. What has it been? I think it's 74 degrees there in San Antonio right now?
It is. Good morning, Ty. I hope you're doing well, brother. Yeah, it's overcast. We got a slight breeze. Actually, I was walking from my hotel to the Gonzalez Convention Center where we have the radio row set up via our friends from Westwood One. And I stopped here. I thought this would be perfect. I know it's not TV, but I'm trying to paint the picture. I'm inside the men's Final Four tip-off tailgate presented by a car manufacturer that might not be a sponsor of yours, but they have this actual bracket that someone has put together, and it's the entire field. I'll send you a picture.
Is it bigger than Molly? Is it bigger than Molly? Is it bigger than Molly's, Landrum?
Oh, this would absolutely put Molly's to shame. This is like a 3D. It's not on a wall. This is they have gone to some lengths. This looks like some kind of composite plastic that they have formed together, and it looks like we've got bolts holding all of this stuff together. No, this is a legit bracket. This is not your painter's tape on a wall type.
Okay. All right. Again, later, co-host in Birmingham, one of his coworkers, Molly, put together this really cool wall bracket, but it sounds like where he's at is a little bit bigger. You mentioned Radio Row. I was kind of going through your social media. I saw you got a chance to catch up with Porter Mosier. Here's a cool connection for you. One of my friend's dad sent me a picture earlier this week of a free throw competition when Porter Mosier was the head coach of Arkansas Little Rock, Euler, back in the day. So I'm seeing that, and then he sends me that pick. Oklahoma coach, they in their season in the NCAA tournament. What's your thoughts on your conversation with him yesterday, Landrum?
All right. First of all, watching Porter Moser from afar, to me, he looked like he was a gruff guy, probably not a fun conversation, not a guy that if I played college basketball, he would not be on the top of my list of, that looks like a great players coach. I was blown away and talking to him for 15 minutes. He couldn't have been nicer. My preconceived thoughts about Porter Moser, I could not have been more incorrect. He was awesome. And just him describing his career. I asked him about Sister Jean going back to the Loyola Chicago days, and he said no, he still keeps in touch with her. In fact, he had a player, and I'm trying to remember who it was. It was a kid, I believe, from Oklahoma's team this year that was having an injury, had a deal with an ankle, and somehow they went, they talked to Sister Jean, and she asked the player to put the ankle up on her blanket that was resting there on her lap, and she prayed over the ankle for like 10 minutes. It was just a fascinating conversation. But I was tempted because you saw some of the smoke that was coming out of College Station, and Porter Moser's name was one of those top replacements potentially for Buzz Williams. And his whole family was there, and I was thinking conspiracy theory. He has a whole family here. Why are they here? But I didn't go there. But no, Porter Moser, he was a delight to talk to yesterday.
Who gets that A&M job? Chris Beard, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. I thought it was, dead set. And I'll give Keith Carter, Ole Miss Athletics Director, credit. He's kept Lane Kiffin. He's kept Chris Beard. Who gets that A&M job, Landrum?
Man, that's a great question. I don't think it's going to be who Trev Alberts necessarily had at the top of his list.
That's always good.
For whatever reason, I thought that Chris Beard was going to be the most natural, but was that a leverage play? Probably. I think Chris Beard maybe being there in the state. I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful towards Texas A&M.
That's okay. That's okay on this show. You realize that, right?
We'll do it later.
As the biggest A&M hater on the planet, that is okay, Landrum.
It seems like whether it's McCaslin there at Texas Tech and being in that state and coaching in that state in Denton, or if it was Chris Beard and his time in Austin or in Lubbock, that maybe he just knows too much about that program. It seems like a unique fit for whoever takes that job. And I think evidence was Buzz Williams going to Maryland and leaving what he had there. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be one of those. It could be a guy that we're not thinking about that we don't know is just miserable where he is. But that's a great question. I have no idea. I don't think it is going to send Aggie fans, throwing a parade or predicting a Final Four next year. I don't see it. Who are you guys thinking? You hearing anything?
Well, the McCaslin one was the one that kind of stood out to me with the North Texas and Texas Tech, and I think there you can win in Texas Tech as evidenced by Chris Beard and him, and I think Davis had a little bit of a run, but I am curious who they go because that is a job that I think is unique based on how much is invested in the football program, but. Buzz Williams and I think Andy Kennedy and others have shown. I'm forgetting the other guy that have shown that you can win there in basketball as well. Landon, we'll get you out of this. We're, by the way, talking with Landon Roberts, co-host of 3-Man Front here on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. He's live in San Antonio, Texas, getting ready for the Final Four tomorrow night and the national championship on Monday. How effective is Janai Broom going to be? I know I've heard what Bruce Pearl said, but I watched that arm, man. It's just. What kind of impact does he have on that Florida front line tomorrow night, and how do you see that affecting the Tigers?
I don't know how much pain he's in. I got to take him at his word, but from people I talk to that cover the program, they believe it's legit, that he's good to go, and he'll go at full speed. I really like Auburn in this situation. I do. This is a team that now not only are you're considered the underdog, you're legit considered the underdog. And ever since you think about the Alabama State game and trailing late in the first half in that first round, and then the resiliency of having a Creighton team that was just on fire from the outside, coming back, winning that game the way they did, the stretch they had against Michigan, what they were able to do kind of wire to wire against Michigan State. I think this Auburn team is in a good mindset. I think Denai Broom is effective. My question is the officials. I thought the officiating Michigan State, they knew what they were getting. We started getting some of those more finicky fouls towards the end of the game, but if they let them play, and I got a feeling they will, I think Denai Broom, Dylan Cardwell, and then Chaney Johnson, kind of the X factor, they can be big. I really like Auburn in this spot if they can limit, of course, what Walter Clayton Jr. does. I think Auburn advances to the championship game, and I would not be surprised at all if they take on Houston.
And that means you get to stay a couple other extra days, right? If they advance.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know, man. I kind of I'm excited about the semifinals. I don't know if I want to be here on championship night, as crazy as that sounds.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, he's Landon Roberts, co-host of Three Man Front. Landon, I know you got stuff to do, busy day ahead, and your show's coming up in about 45 minutes, so we appreciate you slotting us in here this morning.
Ty, is there a tenderloin anywhere in San Antonio?
It's funny you mentioned that, Landon. My uncle and aunt partially own a bar down there, and they were telling me, and I'm forgetting the area that you're supposed to go, and then there's an area like any other town you're not supposed to go. So maybe do some research before you just kind of walk around willy nilly, especially at night after Saturday's game, man.
Well, Ty, man, great catching up. Thanks for the visit, and I will send you a picture of this bracket.
All right, let's see it. All right, have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, brother. See you.
That's again Landon Roberts, co-host of Three Man Front, WJOX in Birmingham, Alabama. All right, that is your opening drive. Got some Final Four updates. We got our Fence Man Friday picks coming up in just a bit as Sean has arrived here this morning. Our opening drive brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. I know Jackie and Matt, or Cement Head, as many people call them, really excited about today with Mock Legal Solutions. Today is the day they are finally opening their grand location. It's been open, but this is kind of their big grand location at the across from the Sequoia County Courthouse, 105 East Chickasaw in Oklahoma. Come on by and see them. They've got gift card giveaways. They've got food out there. I know Jackie and Cement Head really excited to venture in to this new project here in Oklahoma. And again, their official grand opening is as today. You can check them out online, mocklegalsolutions.com. I know it can be hard sometimes to pony up $5,000 retainer for the working class, but in this case, they offer low flat fees, low down payments, and payment plans to take care of you. Wrecks, slip and falls, dogfight cases, family law, you name it, they can do it. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. Now, we've talked about how the rain's affected sports, and I know rain and the weather across our state has affected just the everyday Arkansan. It's also affected businesses. Sean, I know as we welcome you in here this morning, I don't know how much work you're going to get done these next 2 days with just all the weather coming down. Now, you always say when the rain hits, it's always great when it's over because the ground's softer and easier, but I guess I guess the guys aren't necessarily out on the trucks these next few days, are they?
You know, our guys have been trying to bop in and out, I guess. I don't know if the right word, bop in and out.
I think that works. That fits.
Yeah, you know, they showed up, they cleaned their trucks one day, then they tried to go out, and it rained real hard. They came back in, they worked, and they tried to go back out again. Mm-hmm. So, I've got a great, loyal, dedicated, amazing professional staff of installers. They get out there, they try hard, they want to get the fence in, they want to do a great job for all of our customers. But yes, you're right. My biggest concern is the rain. I don't care if they get wet. It's the lightning.
Yeah.
You grab a big old metal post and you put that in the air, you become a rod.
I remember. So it's kind of funny because that brought me back. You kind of in the in and out. So when I did landscaping, it was the exact same way. It was like, okay, it's going to rain for an hour, then we can, and you try and get it before in. Like even this week, I mowed my yard on Tuesday and did everything because I knew it's like Wednesday through Saturday, I'm not going to be able to do anything. It's going to get up even higher. So it's kind of like that sequence of getting in, getting out, and everything else. All right, we were just talking about Texas A&M. I'd ask Sean about that coming up. Obviously ties with the Aggies with his family. But let's go back to last week, see how we did in our Fence Man Friday picks. We've got a couple things we're going to pick this week in the Final Four games. And how many games are Arkansas going to play? Let's hear what we did last weekend.
Starting with Ole Miss and Michigan State. Michigan State is a 3.5-point favorite.
So I'm going to pick Ole Miss in this.
I've also got Ole Miss winning this game.
I'm going to have to go along with you guys.
Tennessee takes on Kentucky. I've got the Vols advancing to the Elite Eight.
Go Vols all the way.
I'm with you, fellas. Give me the Vols.
Auburn is an 8.5-point favorite against Michigan. I don't think that Auburn's able to cover, but I do think the Tigers are able to advance.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Auburn in this one.
Give me Auburn.
Texas Tech is a 6.5-point dog on Saturday against the Gators. Colton, I've got the Gators not only just winning, but going back to the Final Four, winning this game by 7 or more on Saturday.
Yeah, I would probably also take Florida and also take them to cover as well.
I think Florida's going to go all the way.
Duke and Alabama. I've got Alabama not just covering. I've got them winning this game.
We're going to disagree on this one, Ty.
I think Alabama's going to surprise everybody.
I didn't realize how bad my voice
Yeah, that was really
until
bad.
I'm hearing that.
I'm so sorry you had to do that.
Hearing that.
You're such a champ, though. You're a gladiator.
There's one time when we were doing the show with Chuck where I still showed up on my normal time, but it was worse. If you can imagine, Sean, it was even worse than that. I couldn't speak English. It was pretty bad. But my voice sounds normal now, or I don't know if you consider my voice sounding normal, but it's at least back to full strength.
Sounds better.
Back to full strength. All right, we got 2 Final Four games this week. And then we will also pick the national championship in how many games this weekend. We'll go to the SEC first. Auburn at Florida. Guys, I've got the Gators in this one. I'm still concerned about Janai Broom's health. Florida is a 2.5-point favorite, Sean, against the Tigers, who they beat already this season. You got the Gators or the Tigers in this one?
Now, I'm going to take the Tigers. I watched him hurt his arm. He went off, went to back, came back, had it all wrapped up, and then shot a 3-pointer.
It's a tough cookie.
I'm telling you, I think he's got what it takes. Auburn's going to surprise everybody.
He's a tough guy. What do you got on this one, Colton?
Ty, my mother-in-law, and the whole half of my wife's part of the family, they've born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. They're all Gators fans, so you know what that means. I'm picking the Tigers, so let's go Tigers, baby.
All right, I've said it all week. I think Duke's just going to be too much offensively for Houston. Duke is a 5.5-point favorite, Sean, against Kelvin Sampson's Cougars. I got the Blue Devils advancing, unfortunately, but I've got Duke winning this game.
I got to go with Houston because
I hope
that's
you're
where
right.
my wife's from. She's from that Kemah Clear Lake area. And so go Houston.
All right, so between Houston and Auburn, who's your national champion in that scenario that's set up?
Oh, I'm going to go with Auburn.
Auburn, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think, I don't want it to happen, but I think Duke, even though my bracket says Florida, I think I have Duke picking it. All right, Colton, who do you got between Houston and Duke? And then who's your national champion based on that scenario?
He's a grand old flag, so give me Duke, and then I think Duke takes it to win, and if they go up against Auburn, I don't know if anybody can stop him in the entire country. He's just that good.
All right, last thing. So by 10 o'clock, I guess we'll have to figure out if Arkansas is even going to play tonight. I doubt they play. Tend to think it's going to be one game tomorrow, maybe 2 games on Sunday early. We'll see how it shakes out. Guys, how many games? Did they get in all 3? Did they get in 2 this weekend? How many games is Arkansas baseball playing? Well, Ball Market Stadium. I think, even though it hasn't, I think Whole Hog Sports said it, you hadn't played like 2 games in a series since like 2017. I think they only get in 2 games this weekend, Sean, because of the weather.
2 games is the best they're going to do. That field's going to be soaking wet.
It is. What do you?
I'm going to be a little hopeful here and maybe be a little positive. I'm going to say they're going to get in and be able to squeeze in all 3.
Okay. All right. Well, there's the positivity. All right. That is your Fence Man Friday picks here this morning. Always love having Sean, the Fence Man, here with us. 479-782-3936. Sean, you can do it all, residential, commercial, repairs. You can do it all with the Fence Man.
We have it. If you need a fence, you need security access, residential, standard everyday privacy fence.
Colton's dad called you?
Yes, he did, and bragged about him, actually.
Yeah, bothered you for 30 minutes is what he said.
Well, being a fellow fisherman, he was telling me he's a custom lure
artist, yeah.
So I'm gonna go see him personally myself.
Let's go. All right, 782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Fastbreak Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix in Bentonville. Get back to living your life.
Zero to the other end for a throwdown.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Come back here absolutely jacked and juiced. Let's go.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jazzco?
We do food trucks, cars. We do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses. We do logos, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jazzco. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
About 107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo Big Suey. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
By the way, we're 28 minutes into the show, and I've not informed anyone where Tommy is. Tommy's traveling. He's got a few things he's doing next week, company-wise. He'll be on next week for probably 90% of the shows, but just an update on that front. All right, we got also updates from Sam Pittman yesterday. I know people are wondering, hey, what is Remy Cofield as a basketball guy? What does that look like for the football team? I know I got to kind of readdress his title every time we talk about him, the new general manager for Arkansas Athletics. Here's Coach Pittman yesterday.
During this time, he's going to be directly involved with everything, meetings, evaluation on film, at practice, whatever it may be. After that, I think, then he becomes part of Pat Doherty, part of the recruiting area. But he has to know our team because he's got to have an opinion. That's why we hired him.
How things shake out with people that are under Cofield and how they go about delegating responsibilities and everything else for every team on that campus is intriguing to me. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if that's going to be Cofield's kind of area of expertise. I would guess it's going to be a group effort. Hunter Yurachek, Remy Cofield, and the rest of that staff trying to figure things out. But just to see how that play out is going to be interesting. Baseball-wise, still don't have an update. Colton, just keep me informed if we get, because I'm not on social media during the show, but if we've got a change or an email when it comes to Razorback baseball. I want to play this clip. Corey Stewart. So there's a couple Arkansas fans that I think just do like services for the community as Razorback fans in Razorback Nation that are so valuable. War Machine puts together all the highlights for you. He does a fantastic job. Hog Stats has all the basketball background and statistics over the years, dating back to way back when. And then Corey's kind of closer to my age. His Stu goes by Stu Hog. Some of you may have seen him on social media. He puts up the baseball highlights, and he also kind of dissects it. And one of the things he's talked about recently is just where the bats are right now with this baseball team.
The biggest story of the year so far has easily been the offense. Basically, think of any way that a batting lineup could improve from one year to the next. Arkansas has done it. That's probably even selling things just a little short. They aren't just considerably better than they were last year. Pretty much any way you slice it, they're among the best they've ever been.
I saw Matt Jones of Whole Hog Sports put out a tweet earlier this week that Arkansas's top 15, like ERA, hitting, there's just a bunch of categories, but it wasn't just like offense or it wasn't just pitching, which if you think about Arkansas baseball, it's more of they've been pitching the last few years, but to see them so high in SEC play in both, I think is encouraging for Razorback fans. All right, that is your Hog Update here on a Fast Break Friday. Hog Update, always brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call
8 Sparky. Jeremy gets at us on YouTube this morning saying, "What's up, guys? Good morning from Jefferson City, Missouri." Again, people always listen to us from all over the place. Thanks to the Hit That Line Now app, brought to you by Taco Bell. Always on YouTube, always on X, always on Facebook, and always on Twitch as well. We now talk to our friend David Rath of Rath Auto Resources here on this beautiful Friday morning. And I say beautiful in the sense that, like, we're alive, we're well. It's raining. I know, David, where you are in Springdale. I know one of the things that you and I were talking about, and I was talking with your dad, Larry, about, man, trade-ins, get them in now. You guys need a bunch of new vehicles. I know you've always got your weekly specials. Well, if you don't get trade-ins, man, there's no weekly specials to talk about. Am I right?
Man, that's right. We're both stores this month. We're running a trade-in special. So, we're doing up to $3,750 above appraised market value for those things. Buying cars is hard right now, man. Trade-ins, local vehicles are always the very best for us. Our customers prefer them. I mean, pretty obviously. And, we like that. So, I mean, we would rather kind of pass that on to folks that come in locally rather than, you pay big auction fees and hauling and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather pay somebody a little bit extra for their vehicle than, pay the auction an extra, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, all that mess. So those good local cars are a really big deal for both of our stores. We're going to pay extra for those all this month.
And you think about just buying cars. I know people have been talking about markets, tariffs and stuff, just the impact there and what they could be priced now versus down the road.
That's definitely right. I mean, everybody's playing that real close to the vest right now. Like Mitsubishi's not even, they're not even coming out with month-long incentives. They're coming out with like week-long incentives because they don't know how all that stuff's going to impact things. The inventory that we have right now is probably about as cheap as it's going to get. I mean, the stuff that we have on the new car side for up here in Springdale, those are pre-tariff vehicles, right? I mean, that's price protected and you don't have to worry about that price hike just yet. So it is a good time if you've been kind of thinking about getting in the market and doing something here the next few months, probably be worth, thinking about bringing that forward just a little bit, try to save some money now rather than, waiting until later and spending more.
That's Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith. You can see Larry and the team down there, and you can see David at Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. David, brave this weather, hopefully just through tomorrow, and then we'll hopefully get some sunny skies starting next week.
Here's hoping, man.
Here's to hoping. Again, April showers bring Mayflowers. That's our buddy David Rath with Rath Mitsubishi. Coming up, we've got our Morning Rush Daily Question. We're going to get a chance to talk with Lane Whitman, kind of like Arkansas baseball. Still ain't got word. I'm assuming that Oaklawn might try and get a race or two this weekend. We'll have to kind of wait and see on that front. That's the thing right now, Colton. It's just kind of a wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want to make a decision if you don't want to be made fun of if, like, all right, it's going to rain, and then it doesn't end up raining. So it's just kind of like a back and forth right now.
We've all got to wait on the weather.
It's part of it. All right, Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. Keep it here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and our Hit That Line Now app. We roll on a Fast Break Friday. Going to hear more from Sam Pittman as well coming up next.
It's Fast Break Friday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Land off a screen, top of the circle, buries the three-pointer.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm out there hunting for elk in my Hocus.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials. Monday through Friday, we've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great In-N-Out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Picture it. It's a day like any other. You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. And you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw & Associates. If this happens to you, call me, 479-434-6200, or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
I know Andrew Armstrong this season. One of 5 Razorbacks to bust 1,000 yards? I mean, he was awesome on just an okay team last season. He was the alpha, double teams, bracket coverage, zone. I mean, he just did it all. He ripped up everything. So who's going to replace him? Coach Pittman yesterday?
Somebody will emerge. You know, it's just like Andrew Armstrong. You didn't know what you really had. You didn't know. He had a pretty good, junior year. We thought he was going to be a good player. In the time that his junior year and his senior year, to me, he mentally changed because he got hell knocked out of him a few games, got back up, came back in as soon as he was cleared, and had a 1,000-yard season. We're looking for somebody like that. I believe they're on our team. We'll have to find them on a Saturday afternoon.
So here's your Cart Fast Social Morning Rush Daily question. Who's that going to be? Now I realize it's April the 4th, and some of you haven't thought about football in 4 months. Listen, I understand that. We've been focused on this basketball team, who Cal's going to pick up, this baseball team, top 5 in the country, number 2. I mean, there's a lot of focus, and maybe you're thinking about the Thunder, your MLB team started up. Listen, football is taking a back seat, but now it's kind of getting sprinkled back in. We hear from Coach Pittman yesterday, hear from some players this week. So that's why I wanted to blend this question. So who is that wide receiver going to be? Who's that guy? Is it going to be like Cordy Crutchfield?
Well, he's got to be a big part of our offense. I think he's earned that in the way that he's practiced to this point. He's a mature guy that goes about his business, doesn't say a whole lot, but he's a big physical guy. He's big, he's physical, and he can catch the ball really well. So I see him being a big part of our offense.
That's Coach again on the former Razorback, former Pine Bluff Zebra, if I remember that right, who started his career at Missouri and has ended up in Fayetteville now. I know there's a lot, like if I had to pick one, I think I have some excitement about this Cam Shanks kid just based on the season he had at UAB. 62 catches, 656 yards, and 6 touchdowns a season ago. You actually played him, if you remember, this past season. But there's not an Andrew Armstrong. And Coach Pittman kind of alluded to it. Like, he had a good junior year. It was good, and then he went off. Like, these guys have these what's called, I mean, this is for anything, but an adjustment period. Like, you're not going to go from UAB, you're not going to go from Stanford, you're not going to go from help me out. I'm trying to think of another college that a kid transferred in from. You think about Missouri and if I could say it, Crutchfield. You think about C.J. Brown as a freshman last year, going in his, I don't know if he's a redshirt freshman or sophomore year, but there's just an adjustment period. So if I had to pick one, it would be Cam Shanks, Colton. But it's not going to. No one's going to bust 1,000 yards on this football team.
And Cam Shanks is a good choice because he's super dynamic. They brought him on the team because he's been elite in the punt returning game. So they're hoping that will also transfer to the slot as well. One of the first people that I thought of was Raylan Sharp, and this is not like a huge household name, but it is somebody that has experience in Bobby Petrino's system. And Tommy and you guys talked about yesterday how important it is that now these guys have a lot more knowledge about the Petrino system as they come in, and the receiving room is kind of evaporated. But you're bringing in a guy in Raylan Sharp who does have experience in the Petrino system at Missouri State, and that's going to help out tremendously. That's someone that may not have quite the same level of production as Andrew Armstrong, but I would see probably separate themselves from the pack early on, this season, because simply they've been in the system before. They know exactly how Coach Petrino wants it executed.
So the deal with Raylan, he was at Missouri State, and then he went to Fresno State, if I remember that right, and also. I want to say Christina Lawn maybe wrote that piece in Whole Hog that he was teammates with Taylor Green for like a season in high school. I feel like that's right.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think I remember.
Maybe I'm making. I feel like that's correct, but I don't want to.
He's 100%. From Allen, Texas. So yeah, that's pretty close.
I'm pretty sure that's at least for one season before Taylor transferred, if I remember that correctly. So who's going to be the wide receiver? That is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question. Again, no one's, I don't think, going to have over 1,000 yards receiving.
I think that's right. I think that this is going to be, you're not going to have a guy that you can just go to. They're going to have to do it by committee.
By committee. That's probably the best way to answer the question. All right, Cart Pass Social. Perfect day for Cart Pass Social. I know Nate, Christian, they'd love to see you. It is just a grimy, ugly day, whether it's Northwest Arkansas, North Central Arkansas, River Valley, you name it, it's not pretty outside. And you're thinking, hey, what can I do on a day like this? Well, instead of just moping around, not doing anything, you can stop by Kart Pass Social. I bet they'll have the women's Final Four on tonight. Of course, you can play one of over 1,000 courses at Kart Pass Social. And check this out. If you've been to Kart Path, they're doing this deal right now. You complete a 60-second survey, and you'll receive a code for $10 off your next round at Kart Pass Social. They listen, I've known these guys since, freshman, sophomore year. These guys love golf, and they're good dudes. They're Rogers boys. They're good old boys, and they want to hang out with you. They want to meet you, and they want you to enjoy Kart Pass Social. So try to make it it's already fantastic. They're trying to make it better. KartPassSocial.com, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. It's always BYOB at Kart Pass Social. By the way, we got a text here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. That comes from Jackie in Cherokee Village. He thinks Monte Harrison might be the guy this season. Monte was mostly used in blocking roles. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if he caught a pass last year, but someone that I know people are really excited about. We had Limbo Parks on, I guess, last summer talking about him, so maybe he can take an expanded role this next season. All right, you heard the call to post. You know what that means. Our buddy Lane Whitman at the Railbird 333 now joins us. Lane, I know that we were talking about this earlier. Weather's a factor not just in Northwest Arkansas, but in Oaklawn this weekend too.
Yeah, actually, Ty, I mean, I'm kind of shocked that they're going to race today. I was kind of waiting all week for a cancellation, but I saw Oaklawn social media about an hour and a half ago posted that track announcer Matt Dinnerman and Nancy Holthus will have their pre-race show on at 11:10. So as of right now, racing on today at Oaklawn.
You can take advantage of that. Let's go back last week before we kind of jump into stuff this week. Just kind of recap the Arkansas Derby. I know you won some money for one of my buddies with one of your picks. I know they were really excited. I immediately got a text, and it just said Lane, and it had $2 marks. So kind of go over what happened last week for those that missed it.
Yeah, well, in this position last week, talking to you, I'd said that I kind of thought that was a weak field for the Arkansas Derby, especially for a $1.5 million race. And only 4 horses had a shot at winning the race, I thought. Those 4 did end up being the top 4 finishers in the race and had the superfecta. I didn't have them in the exact correct order, but that's good enough. A lot of times people box bets anyway, which means you get all the different combinations. I'm not sure that Sandman, who won the race, or Publisher, who ran second, or even Cole Battle, who ran third, are going to be an in-the-money finisher in the Kentucky Derby going forward, but we'll see about that when that race comes together next month. All in all, though, a great day. Over 68,000 people at Oaklawn last week. The weather turned out great after a little gloomy at the start of the day. The sun was out in the afternoon. It was a great day all around.
Well, let's talk about this weekend, Lane, and just the setup and everything else. You think about just the Saturday and Sunday, the feature races, and particularly horses from Arkansas as well.
Yeah, horses from Arkansas, bred in Arkansas, are the feature this weekend. Saturday's feature race, the Rainbow Myth for Arkansas 3-year-old fillies at 6 furlongs, $150,000. The 2 favorites look to be number 4, Strong Like Sarah at 9-5 on the morning line, and number 7, Caliente Star at 8-5 on the morning line. Jump over to Sunday, the feature race is the Rainbow Stakes for 3-year-old colts bred in Arkansas. Another $150,000 on the line at 6 furlongs. Number 1, Rock Solo at 5-2 on the morning line, and number 9, War Mule at 2-1 on the morning line. Look to be the 2 favorites in those respective races.
Best bet for today, Lane.
Today's best bet, we're going to third race, horse number 3, Musical Prayer at 7-2 on the morning line. This is a $35,000 claiming race at 6 furlongs, and Musical Prayer has been knocking on the door in 2 starts at Oaklawn this meet. For leading trainer Steve Asmussen, his son Keith is the jockey on this one today. Second by 3 lengths in February, 4th in his last race by 3 lengths back on March 7th. I love horses in the slop that run near or on the lead, keep all the mud and slop out of their faces, can race clean. This one qualifies, loves to run on the lead, has faltered a little bit in the stretch in his 2 starts there. But this is his 3rd start of his form cycle. That is many times a horse's best race, and that's what I look to get here today from number 3 in the 3rd race, Musical Prayer. If you want to bet an exacta, check out number 6, In Awe of Juju, or number 8, Take Her Back to pair with number 3 in the third race, Musical Prayer, as my best bet today.
All right. He always gives you the best bets, and he gives you great advice. That is Lang Whitman at the Railbird 333. Lang, enjoy your weekend. We'll do it again next week.
All right, sounds good, Ty. Thanks for having me on.
All right, at the Railbird 333. If you want to follow Lane, I'm not kidding. Buddy texts me, just the dollar signs wins money. Every time he gets Lane's picks, he seems to win money. Lane does a great job. Again, with our horse racing segment each and every week, brought to you by Brothers Roofing, 479-353-3877. Again, 479-353-3877 for Brothers Roofing and Restoration. Brother Alexander, maybe that name sounds familiar. Played for Lou Holtz back in the day and has now been doing roofing for quite some time, nearly 3 decades of experience. Unbelievable. Does a fantastic job. Again, industry's best materials. He can help you all over. 479-353-3837. 3877. He's got crews with over 20 years of experience, and he provides free estimates with the most complete pricing. That is Brothers Roofing and Restoration.
Too much time. Great defense, Arkansas. They take it away. McDaniel will end it in style. Arkansas is in hog heaven. They've won the first ever national championship.
So, if the opens sound better, that's because they've been moved away from my plate and onto Colton's, and he's done a fantastic job. Colton, you told me you kind of got into a wormhole this morning. You're like, hey, Ty, why are you playing the Jim Nantz 1994 national championship? Well, on this day back in 94, they won it all. They beat Duke. And you kind of got sucked into watching a lot of that game this morning, didn't you?
Well, it's so good that March Madness, the YouTube page and CBS will occasionally take some of their old files and put them in the full broadcast on YouTube for people to watch. And one of those that we're fortunate enough to have on there is the 1994 National Championship game. I was just watching that today, and I have a curse of being young. I couldn't see this in person when it happened. Scotty Thurman missed so many shots before he hit the big one, man. God, I love the Razorbacks.
Listen, he's a confident guy, and cool. By the way, speaking of former Razorbacks, I don't know if you've seen, for those that missed it, Lee Mayberry's daughter has committed with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Cool connection. So from Kansas as well. All right, we've got hour number 2 coming up. We're going to talk Arkansas basketball with Kevin McPherson here on a Fast Break Friday, brought to you by our friends at QC Kinetix. 479-999-1234. If you're dealing with any pain when it comes to joints, QC Kinetix can help you out without drugs or surgery. Again, give them a call today, 479-999-1234. QC Kinetix, a proud sponsor of Fast Break, soon to be Fastball Friday. Kevin McPherson coming up next.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials Monday through Friday. We've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great In-N-Out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
It's time for the Rath rod replacement sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above the appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath rod replacement sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are keeping a very close eye on a particularly dangerous flooding situation setting on up. Excessive rainfall from an extremely rare multi-day heavy rain event is going to be with us today, tonight, tomorrow, into tomorrow night. So very heavy rain today, a high in the 60s. The heavy rain continues tonight. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
I'm just very proud that here we are. We're in the final game tonight, and maybe after tonight, we'll have a lot more respect for the Razorbacks.
Charlotte, North Carolina, burgeoning metropolis, basketball hotbed, set for a great final. Has it taken away. McDaniel, a 4-4 sprinter. Clint McDaniel puts Arkansas ahead. Rebound to Stewart. Here's Diller now.
He's amazing. You give him an inch, he takes a mile, boy. Look at the strength of Williamson.
They got it in underneath, and Williamson puts Arkansas back in front. 20 for Williamson. Championship trophy backstage, waiting to be hoisted in the air, center stage. Game tied 70 all with 1:12 remaining. Under 10 on the shot clock. Stewart's open. Stewart, 1 on the shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh, he got a three-pointer. Huge arch on that. He had to do it to get it over Lang's hands. Too much time. Too much time. Great defense, Arkansas. They take it away. McDaniel will end it in style. Arkansas is in home heaven. They won the first ever national championship.
This is the Morning Rush.
And it's hour number 2 here. If you missed any of the first hour, we kind of talked about 31 years ago today, Arkansas wins the national championship. I'd let it rain the rest of the year in order for Arkansas to win in Indianapolis, Indiana this next season. You know, it's as I listen to Coach Richardson there, I've listened to Cal talk about like being on the shoulders of Coach Sutton, Coach Richardson. You almost have to have a chip on your shoulder to coach at this university, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can, not just basketball or baseball or whatever, but like we're never going to be blue chips or blue bloods, even if they get guys to campus that way. Like that's just, and Cal's kind of fed off a little bit. And I don't know if he did as much as Muss, because I felt like Muss had more of a chip on his shoulder, but I would say there's been more criticism of Cal in year one than 2 or 3 years combined in Muss, even when they were rolling. And again, I get ticked off at people when people want to just blast and make fun of Muss. It drives me insane because your basketball program wouldn't be here where it is. I am so thankful that Eric Musselman and Danielle, Matthew Michael, Mariah, all of them came, because we wouldn't be talking about a Sweet 16 team. We wouldn't be talking about Cal as the coach and everything else. That all being said, again, as you look back and you look forward to what this team could be, you haven't really seen many transfer portal moves in terms of the incomers. You've seen some guys exit. Big Z. Not a lot of you know about Melo Sanchez or Kashmir Chavis. I can tell you Kashmir was the beats guy. He got the guys going in the locker. It was fun to watch him kind of walk out with the team and dancing after they beat St. John's. Like he's a guy that you want in the locker room, definitely. But who are they going to get? And could we be having a conversation this time next year about Final Four? We had a good conversation with Landon Roberts in hour number 1. He's live in San Antonio, Texas, this morning. Auburn takes on Florida tomorrow night, as well as Houston and Duke. You got an SEC matchup, and then you've got Kelvin Sampson against Shire. Old versus young tomorrow. Golden's 39, Shire's 37. Sampson's 69, and then Pearl's 66 or 67. So pretty intriguing from that standpoint. Fast Break Friday, always brought to you by QC Kinetix. Maybe you're dealing with chronic joint pain right now. You're trying to get more comfortable. You want to golf, you want to hike, you want to play tennis, whatever the case may be, then try QC Kinetix. 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234. They've already treated tens of thousands of patients across the country. No drugs, no surgery, healing and making healthier lives and getting away from the harmful medications. Do you feel like might be a candidate? Are you listening to me talk about joint pain? You're saying, this might be me. Well, I can't personally attest to it, but Tommy can. Shoulder issues and whatnot. He's done it. He talks about it. So that's just one example. 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetix. Now, Colton was joking earlier, like he didn't live through that national championship. I was, I guess, in my mother's womb, or a thought at that point back then. But Kevin McPherson was around. AR Hoop Scoop. You see him on Pig Trail Nation. Kevin, 31 years ago today, Arkansas wins the national championship over the Blue Devils. A lot of disrespect leading that game. There were some racial innuendos as well, but Arkansas overcame what many people thought was the better team that night. What do you remember about the kind of the build-up in Charlotte and then just how that game played out?
Well, first of all, there was some disrespect, and Nolan Richardson played it out because he was great at turning things into the world against us. Arkansas actually spent a great part of that season ranked number 1, as did North Carolina. North Carolina was a defending national champion, brought a lot of players back, and was a prohibitive favorite. Lost, I think, in the second round, maybe the Sweet 16 to Boston College, got upset. But Arkansas spent a lot of time at number 1, only 3 losses that year in the regular season, and close games at that. One of the losses actually came in the SEC tournament. So 2 regular season losses, 1 in the tournament. But by the time I got to Charlotte, I was at Reunion Arena in Dallas for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 wins over Tulsa, and then Michigan, which was down to a Fab 4. So Arkansas, and that was one of Arkansas's toughest games in that field, was Michigan. So Arkansas had already been through a gauntlet. And don't forget, the SEC was not a joke back then. Florida was another team that made that Final Four out of the SEC.
Lon Kruger, yep.
And it was a strong league. So the build-up to Charlotte, to me, was Arkansas was battle-tested, not only playing in a strong league, but by the time it played Michigan, I thought that was a team that, had it been in another regional, might have been Final Four quality. No Chris Webber, but they still had Juwan Howard, Jalen Rose, Jimmy King, and Jackson. They had 4 of those guys. So by the time Arkansas got to the Final Four, I really felt like, not just because I'm a homer, and we must acknowledge that I was, living in Fayetteville at the time, by the way. Dixon Street went nuts after Arkansas beat Duke. But I always felt like Arkansas was the better team, and Duke had the recency of winning titles. But that team wasn't good as the back-to-back title teams. I thought Arkansas, and it was a great game.
Kev, let's go down memory lane for a sec. So you mentioned the game, you mentioned the build-up. Give me the Dixon Street vibe. Give me just, I'm living vicariously through you for the next minute or so. Give me a sense of what that's like, because I've been like after football wins and stuff. I mean, in my lifetime, I don't know. I guess the biggest thing was probably them going to the SEC championship in maybe 2006. Maybe 2007 football when they beat number 1 LSU. Basketball wise, going to Elite Eights and stuff, but like national championship parade, I've never been a part of. Give us a sense of what that was like that night on Dixon Street.
Well, you're just waiting for the president of the United States to send in the National Guard or the governor to get involved. I mean, it was, you saw things that were a bit surprising, and Dixon Street can be interesting, right? And I'm in my mid-20s, so I lived pretty hard and fast at that time, and I was even surprised. It was a wild scene, as you would expect. It's the one and only national title in basketball for Arkansas. You have to go back to '64 to get the football teams, and those are your 2 big sports. It was about as intensely fun. It was a lot of fun.
Lucky. We're sitting here just like,
It was, yeah. I mean, it was one of those things that, and I didn't get to go to the Final Four. I actually covered that team, and the next season, I was doing a lot of column editorial writing about the championship team and what it was spilling over into a attempt to run it again in the following year when you got most everybody back. But there's nothing like winning a national championship, because I've seen some Razorback celebrations, nothing like I did the night Arkansas beat Duke.
All right, let's shift gears. That was 94. Let's come back to the present here in 2025.
Sure.
I made the joke, I would let it rain the rest of the year if Arkansas plays in Indianapolis, Indiana for the Final Four. He's got to add some pieces, Kev. He's got 2 phenom freshmen coming in. I listen, everyone's talking about Darius Akov and Malik Thomas. Isaiah Sealy is a dog. Like, if you've watched him play this season, 6'7", it shares the basketball, good vision. I'm really excited about that kid. But portal-wise, we haven't seen any activity on the incoming guys. Any players Arkansas fans should be aware of here in the coming days that might either take visits to Arkansas or have pretty high interest both ways when it comes to this basketball program?
Yes, and a lot of that remains fill in the blank, and I think part of the reason for that is that we're still trying to sort through what guys are you going to keep. Now, the front line, by Big Z, by virtue of him going in the portal and the fact that Jonas Adu is finished, and by the fact that you only had, when you counted Trevor and Brazil, so whether you keep him or not, you need at least 2 big bodies. One of those that Arkansas was involved with and made an NIL offer to, based on my sources, is already off the board. Morris Johnson, the freshman transfer from Illinois, off to Michigan. And so I look for Arkansas to add at least 2 big men. There's a lot of names on the board now, but there's not a whole lot of momentum in terms of how Arkansas fits into that with any specific guy. Jaden Quaintance, who signed McDonald's All-American 5-star, who signed with Calipari to Kentucky, ends up going to Arizona State where he played his freshman season. He just got in the portal. Now, he's also had a knee surgery. It may not be cleared until September, but keep an eye on him. Yaxel Lindenborg out of Alabama, Birmingham.
Say that again.
You know,
Yaxel Lindenborg. That is a name and a half, Kev.
It's a name and a half, and it's a player that's probably going to be a first-round draft pick. He's entered the draft pool, but he's also entered the portal. Nearly 18 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, over 4 assists per game, 1.8 blocks, 1.7 steals, 52% field goal shooter, 36% from three, and 76% from the free throw line. And he's one of the more cerebral guys I've watched. But he's in there. I talked to a source today that said he's really focused. Main focus right now is going to be on an NBA draft. So that's somebody you're going to have to wait on if he comes back to school. But he's on everybody. Arkansas's reached out to him. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned he's 6'9", 6'10"-ish, 240.
And he's the highest rated portal player, I believe, on 24/7 Sports as well. So it won't just be the Razorbacks that are
That's right.
After Nick, you mentioned his timeline. What I find interesting, you kind of alluded to it, like the guys on campus. Now, you lost front court players and Jonas Adu because of eligibility, and then Big Z, he's entered the portal. And Coach, like one of the main things he said about recruiting in his final press conference was saying, "Hey, I got to talk to my guys first." So, Kev, as a guy that covers this sport on a daily basis, and I know we're still trying to get used to Cal. Cal's been here like a year, and we're still trying to get used to things that work out here. How long does Cal give these kids to like make a decision? Be like, hey, you gotta, bleep or get off the pot. Like, we got to figure out what we're doing. Like, how much of a timeline does he give the kids on campus to decide what they're going to do with their future?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because what we saw when he was coming from Kentucky, I don't think that move was made in a vacuum and then he decides, okay, now let's see who I can bring with me. I think he was rounding up information on who was likely to come with him out of that recruited class as well as the guys that played for him at Kentucky. And that ended up being a total of 6 guys. Well, that's 2/3 of your 9 deep that you ended up doing. If you think about that, you retained Trevor Brazile and you really only brought 2 portal players. So that stuff, even though it took weeks for all that to, the chronology of guys coming off the board to you and yada, 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 he didn't have to worry about whether previous Razorbacks were staying or going because all of those guys had been in the portal and already, basically moving on for the most part, except for Brazile, and ended up retaining him. So this is different. We don't really have a rhythm pattern established with him in Arkansas because the first year is a different animal. This is different. And you asked the question, how much time? Well, there's a week between that started yesterday. It's a dead period for bringing recruits in anyway for visits. Coaches can't go on the road to do it. All the coaches are at the Final Four now and going through those, like they do every year, meetings and stuff. So it's a dead period for visits. I got to think Arkansas is figuring out 3 or 4 guys max for the time being that they want to bring in to visit. And while that happens, they're working out their retention. My guess is now they've got a real good idea who's coming back, and it's just ironing out what NIL looks like to keep guys. And I've heard a couple of things, on that end that I've asked not to share specifics on other than to say I think with 2 or 3, they're still ironing out what it's going to take to keep guys.
It's the same figures that when Kevin signs his contract, Colton, it's like a mil 5. It's like around there. It's like it's semantics at that point, right, Kev?
Right, and I'm pushing 60, and I'm still trying to. I get the old calculator out. I'm old school. I'm like, have I even made $1 million in my lifetime? What am I doing out here? What have I done?
Should have played.
I've never been a guy that money matters as much as other things for me, so I don't know the feeling. I'm glad you brought it up so we can joke about it. But a guy like Trevor Brazile, I got to think if you want to keep him, he's earned a boost in NIL simply because based on the way he performed consistently the last 10 games. You can say, well, what does he really deserve a raise? I think so because if you look at his 4 years in college now, that's the most consistent and the best he's played, and it looks really, really good. It's really effective. So, and you're down to no frontline guys right now. I think you need at least one guy you retain on that front line, and he would check that box. So that's just an example of what you're trying to figure out. How do you not under offer him? You don't want to overdo it because you got other needs and other things you're trying to do. So you got to land that gently.
Yeah.
But you got to do what's right. So they'll decide what's right. I'm hearing some things behind the scenes, and I think I have a feeling on 2 or 3 they've lowballed. Some other things I'm hearing on some other guys, I'm thinking, wow, that's a handsome offer. That's really strong. So they're figuring out what the value is for each guy to them.
Kevin McPherson at AR Hoop Scoop on X. He's with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Kev, you're talking about this NIL situation. I want to play this cut for you, and we can react to it after. Here's Sam Pittman yesterday talking about Remy Cofield, and we can blend this as a basketball and football conversation. Take a listen.
Yeah. I think coming from the professional ranks, I think he's seen and heard and exactly what we're looking for, more eyes, help, understanding caps, all those things that he has great experience of. So I'm looking forward to working with him and using him every bit as much as he's able to be used.
Now, you think about his job right now, and I don't know what his daily activities look like, but Kevin, you think about the transfer portal for football. That's fastly approaching. I can't tell you the exact date. You think about the one that's ongoing right now with basketball. This is going to be really intriguing. This is a guy like Boston Celtics, the best organization in the NBA, one of the best organizations in sports. We've seen Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Like, they've drafted really, really well. And he's been a major part of these setups and everything. I'm curious what kind of positive impact he can have on Arkansas, not just basketball, but the football program too.
Yeah, it's because they have that professional experience, and because even though we've been talking about NIL for 2 or 3 years, it's a landscape that continues to change. It's still new in terms of how do you really set a market on a player? How do you know? How do you prioritize? And these are the kind of guys that have been doing it for a long time at the highest level, so they can help you. The one thing I wonder about with Calipari, though, this is the best recruiter of all time. He's had no problems making things work, and money being on the top of the table now instead of under the table is only a positional difference for him. I mean, so I don't want to go too far in what I'm saying there, but you know where I'm going with this. I don't know how much value this guy will bring to the basketball program. I'm not saying he can't and won't, all hands on deck kind of thing. But at the same time, I think with football, it could definitely be a big boost. I don't know how much help Calipari needs, but so I don't know what kind of impact Remy Cofield is having in the basketball part of it. I don't really know specifics on that, but the way Calipari has done it without a Remy Cofield and that kind of helper, now it's not that he hasn't had help recruiting along the way, but he's always, people come and go, and he's always been the standard for recruiting in college basketball. So I don't know really what more he needs help with to make these determinations.
Speaking of recruiting, I find it fascinating to watch players openly recruit other players. For example, like when Jordan Walsh and Nick Smith were recruiting AB to campus 2 years ago, and it worked out. Like, he was down at Gonzaga in Arkansas, I guess, and he chose the Razorbacks. You've got this battle right now between the Boozer twins at Duke and the rest of that class, and Nate Ament, and Darius Akov and Malik Thomas with Nate Ament for kind of, again, Boozer twins, Carlos Boozer's kids. They're going to Duke. Darius Akov, Malik Thomas, 2 5-stars coming here to Fayetteville. And they're both trying to convince Nate Ament, who's the best non-committed player in this class right now, to come to Arkansas. That battle is, I mean, Arkansas is going to have some battles with Duke moving forward with top-end players, but Kevin, I'm curious who wins that. Who do you think wins between Arkansas and Duke when it comes to landing Nate Ament?
Yeah, I think from what I've been getting for months, Duke's probably a little bit ahead in the pecking order. Louisville's another one to continue to keep an eye on. They also have a 5-star McDonald's All-American, Mikael Brown Jr. in the fold. But Arkansas's NIL offer is really strong. When I was told what that was, it exceeded what I thought it would be.
Jeez.
And I think it's making, I can't tell you, but I can tell you this, it's making this tough for him on a decision. I think he really enjoyed the visit. I interviewed him when he got to Fayetteville. He was excited about it. You had Darius Akov Jr. there, speaking of player recruiters, who sealed the deal with Malik Thomas at that Tennessee football game, if you remember that. Go back to then.
Good point. Yeah, that's a great point. Oh, that was a fun
night. So Calipari, so Arkansas's right there. I think it's probably down to Duke and Arkansas, with Louisville still having, still in the mix there. Of course, Tennessee and Kentucky were in the Final Five as well, but I don't think they're, unless there's some last hour surprise. Any team that if this becomes a highest bidder team, and as strong as Arkansas's offer is, I don't rule out anybody that comes in the final hour and says, okay, we're going to do this. We want you that bad. There's always that as well. That's what NIL has done to all of this.
Yeah. Kevin, we'll leave it there, man. Kevin McPherson at AR Hoop Scoop on X, Pig Trail Nation. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks, guys. Good to be with you.
All right, all of our guests join us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Lewis Automotive Group serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. SEC update coming up. Bruce Pearl gives us an update, and Janai Broom, his status for this game tomorrow night. We'll get into that as well as some other basketball conversation. We're brought to you this morning by APAC and Standard Materials Group. Are you looking for that turnkey solution for your construction project? Well, APAC and Standard Materials Group is Northwest Arkansas's #1 provider of aggregates, asphalt, and ready-to-mix concrete. Need more than just materials? Well, APAC can help with surveying, engineering, construction, drone capabilities. That's pretty cool. Trucking and logistics, all under one roof. Call 479-587-3300 today to get started. APAC and Standard Materials Group. One more time, 479-587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group. We'll hear from Pearl and you coming up on the Morning Rush.
Fastbreak Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix in Bentonville. Get back to living your life.
Zero to the other end for a throwdown.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
With that, I'll take questions just as long as there ain't a whole lot of them.
This is the Morning Rush.
Have you heard? TGI Fridays is having happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. to close with half-price drinks and $5 select appetizers, including potato skin, spinach dip, pot stickers, and much more. Plus, you can get in on 50-cent Wing Monday from 5 p.m. to close. And karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 8 p.m. It's all at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them Stadium here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest? He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally held the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Today was the first day he moved and practiced, so I was glad to see him. Obviously good to see him out there. The one thing Janai Broom showed in this NCAA tournament, that there was another level, there was another gear. Everybody keeps watching him and wondering, when is he going to fizzle? When is he going to not show up? And he again managed to step up. But Janai was the MVP of the South region, and we rode him hard, and we're going to ride him hard again on Saturday.
All right, you heard from Bruce Pearl there earlier this week talking about his star player, probably the national player of a year in Janai Broom, as they take on the Florida Gators tomorrow night. I hope he's healthy, because I want to see like a fully back and forth game between the Gators and the Tigers, but I tend to think that he's just going to be a little banged up and is not going to be able to handle that Florida front line, which might be the best in college basketball in terms of depth and everything else. But Florida, I mean, if you want to bet on the game, Florida's a 2.5-point favorite, and then Duke is a 5.5-point favorite. Either of those lines stand out. Colton, is surprising to you?
Yeah, 2.5, because Florida kind of dog walked Auburn in the jungle earlier this year, and now Auburn didn't have a very good performance shooting beyond the arc. That's something they're going to have to do well.
I think that was their only time they lost at home all season.
Yeah, they had just a really tough time, getting the ball in the bucket against Florida. And Ty, to your point, it's because of that front line that Florida has. It's probably going to be, definitely one of the biggest and most athletic they've seen all year. They're going to see him again, and they just run another 6'10" guy off the bench, another 6'10" guy. They run like 5 centers out there at a time, it seems like, and really, if Auburn wants to win this game and have any shot, Ty, I think you're right. They have to have Broome be as healthy as he can be because, Sean mentioned it earlier. He came out there like a gladiator after being hurt and just like sank that three. And Bruce Pearl after the game was, just hugging him and like all over him, just excited about how much he'd come back. But man, Broome's going to have his best game of his career, honestly, because Florida is just that good too.
Arkansas again gets Missouri this weekend. Dave Van Horn had some complimentary things to say for his offense right now.
Give credit to the players for coming in and working extremely hard, getting stronger. Coach Thompson and Coach Warren is working with our hitters, developing our hitters. You have to have guys that have that potential in them, and obviously the three you're talking about are having really good seasons.
They are. It's not just those three. I know whether it's the Caboose boys. Think about your 7, 8, 9 like that setup right now. Arkansas's just got a really good lineup, not just 1 through 5, 1 through 6, but 1 through 9, and it's very complimentary. It's hard, like for a pitcher. It's one thing when you get through like the big dogs at the front of that lineup, but then when you're still having to worry about the back. Not just the back half, but the back three. And that's one of the reasons Arkansas baseball is where they are, top 5 in the country right now, Colton.
Yeah, 1 through 9, it seems like this team has a lot more complete hitters through it. There's not a lot of gaps. And, pitchers throughout the rest of the conference slate are going to have to choose, who they want to pitch to. Aloy, Iredale, just going through the list of guys, that's all dudes with serious power, all over the field. And teams are going to have to make decisions as to when they want to pitch to guys and when they want to pitch around him. And, those transfers that he's talking about in that group specifically right there, just getting stronger and coming in and getting better has really, really helped this team. And a lot of those guys, Davalan and Koziel, those guys have been really linchpins in this lineup by just turning it over and also continuing to hit for power and for average.
So on the subject of baseball, I think you've probably seen these pictures or seen snippets, and it is one former LSU Tiger and a current LSU Tiger and Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn, and it is an SEC update, so I'm going to blend this in as best I can. They recently, I know a lot of you don't watch or follow or get or subscribe to GQ, and I don't blame you, but that has been blown up on my timeline lately. Maybe my algorithm's jacked up, I don't know. Either way, I know that Skeens is probably going to get made fun of. Now, have you scheduled your interview and your photo op with Gabby and y'all's soon-to-be kid with GQ at all?
First of all, I would eat that up. That would be awesome. I'd love to do that.
It's
Skeens,
really
the pictures of Skeens. He looks a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, Skeens, like Livy eats it up because she's used to the modeling and whatnot. And for those that don't know who Livy Dunn is, even if you're 65 years old listening right now, I guarantee you think she's attractive. But that being said, I guarantee you his Pittsburgh Pirates, and I don't know if Phil and Matt have talked about this. Phil, obviously a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. He's actually in studio today, so I know people are excited. He always delivers, but he's in studio today on his way to Baum-Walker Stadium for this weekend. But it is just funny to hear like how I don't know if it's cautious the right word, but just listening to him versus he's just going to get ripped apart in his clubhouse for that. Like, I would think that they're just going to eat him alive.
They will
for that.
Probably give him lots of teasing, lots of nice, playful ribbing, and then he'll, go up against them in batting practice or something like that, hum one about 99 right there, and then they'll probably shut their mouths up pretty quickly because you can wear whatever you want. You can be in as many magazines as you'd like. You can do the Joe Namath throughout and wear pantyhose if you can spin it and you can throw it. And Skeens is one of the best in the league right now.
All right, last thing here in your SEC update, former Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton has been traded from the New England Patriots to the Dallas Cowboys.
Gotta love that.
He's got a cannon, but like, maybe I'm making too much out of his rookie season, but I don't know. Cowboys just whatever. All right, that is your SEC update brought to you this morning by Oaklawn Racing and Oaklawn Casino and Resort. Whether it's the Oaklawn Anywhere app where you can bet on sports anytime, anywhere, or the Oaklawn Sports app. You want to take advantage of Oaklawn. I know a lot of people had fun at the Arkansas Derby this past weekend. We were talking with Lang about it. Still racing, it sounds like this weekend as well at Oaklawn. So whether you're going down to Hot Springs or you're betting on the Oaklawn Anywhere app, again, live racing all the way through May the 3rd. So we still got another month of this with Oaklawn. You can always bet on Oaklawn Anywhere, bet.oaklawn.com, whether it's on the iPhone or the iPad. You can take advantage of that when it comes to Oaklawn Anywhere. And then in addition to that, Oaklawn Sports, bet on March Madness games this weekend, Final Four, National Championship, MLB, NBA. Bet on the best team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Whatever the line is, bet on them to win. You can always do it with Oakland. I mean, an institution here in our state, whether it's going down for races, gambling on sports. You can do it all at Oakland Casino and Resort, again, in Hot Springs. Always a fun time. I'm excited to get back there. I think we're going to try and go for the Kentucky Derby. I was talking to some friends about that. I missed this past weekend being in Dallas and San Francisco, so excited to get back to Oakland and everything else. Also was excited to hear from Sam Pittman, and it's been a while since we've heard from Coach. Football has kind of taken a back seat to this basketball team and even the baseball team with how good they've been. But just kind of like, hey, what's been going on with the team lately? Well, I think like you've got your team currently. There'll be some guys that exit in this next transfer portal cycle, unfortunately, but you also guys that will come in. Here was what Coach had to say when it came to, hey, what do we need around here?
If you look at our board, our numbers in the secondary aren't very good. And so they're not horrendous or anything like that, but we need to add 3 to 4 back there minimum. Depends on how far the money stretches.
I love that that last little bit comment at the end. But just when you think about Arkansas secondary, Colton, I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, can you name? And I'm just saying because of like what they've lost. Like, name some secondary guys.
So you got Selman Bridges back there. Larry Wirtz sort of that nickel corner hog position as well. Miguel Mitchell. And then, they've also brought in some guys they brought in the guy from Auburn, I believe.
Yep.
That's really all I can think of.
And that's the point. I think Wooden's the kid that you were talking about from Auburn. But that's the point. It's like that secondary is so unfamiliar to this to fans and to you listening right now. And it's been like that just because there's so much turnover in football. It's not just in Fayetteville; it's a lot of other places. But that is you're trying to familiarize yourself like you have been this baseball team the last month or so because of all the new guys there and everything else. Worth is a key piece that's back. Really liked what you saw from him at points last season. The mainstay, though, I would say on that defense is Xavier Sori, who Coach really, really likes his leadership.
Sori is a guy that, everybody looks at on defense like everybody looks at the guy on offense being Taylor Green.
Yep.
They should.
Now, he's an all SEC type of linebacker this last year. He was just on a 6-6 team regular season, so you're not necessarily going to get all the adulation, the praise, the love, and everything else. If Andrew Armstrong wasn't on a 6-6 team, he would be the first teamer, not the second teamer. But he's also going up against Ryan Williams and Trey Harris, so it makes sense. That being said, it hurt losing Brad Spence to Texas. Like, I was bummed about that 2 years ago. I was bummed about Chris Paul going to Ole Miss. But you got hit like. The two mainstays on this defense are him and Cam Ball, the funniest dude on the football team, who is just hilarious. Like the U of A's done this thing around him called like Hog Ones, where it's like the hot sauce challenge, but he just interviews players and it's funny. I've watched snippets here and there. The dude is just like he's like if you envision a football teammate, that is Cameron Ball in a nutshell. And so those are the two guys that you're kind of building around everything else. I know Landon Jackson had himself quite a combine. He might have moved himself up to a first or second round pick, depending on what the teams think of his performance and everything else. But how do you replace him? And this kind of goes back to the question we asked in the first hour. How are you going to replace old Andrew Armstrong? Top 3, top 2 wide receiver in the SEC? Well, it's not necessarily one guy. It's going to be more by committee. But that was one of the weaknesses of this team Colton last year is they couldn't get pressure off the edge.
Yeah,
and I'm curious to see who does that this next season.
That was I'd kind of surmised that whole what they need in the portal into just one sentence right there at the end, like I've been taught to do. And but he kind of told me, but he kind of told all the reporters in there that really they need a lot of not necessarily help in terms of talent. They just need more bodies and more numbers on defense. So right now they're going to go in the portal and probably trying to have a really big focus on getting an extra linebacker, getting more depth in the secondary. They've had some injuries and kind of guys limited in practice on the defensive line. So right now they just need more bodies on defense. And then also Hutchinson kind of asked him, Hutch asked him if they had gone or looking at any receivers. And Coach Pittman was kind of like where did you hear that? And he said social media, and Coach Pittman was like, I don't know if that's true or not, but which tends to lead me to believe that they are going to offer some more wide receivers as well. But
there have been reports out there.
They need a little bit more playmaking experience, but they also need more experience tackling guys on defense, and that's what they're going to be going after in the portal. But Ty, to your point, they do have some good pieces back, and Cam Ball is one of them. They're really, really high on Ian Jaffrard and Danny Soley as well, so guys in the middle anchoring up the run defense, but they're going to have to go get a couple linebackers and definitely something on the back end to keep guys from getting burnt all year long.
Hey, we've been telling you about the NWA RV show and outdoor party coming up April the 12th and the 13th. It's 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway. Wheels and Moix RV has been partner up for this incredible thing. Well, so you're looking for stuff from Wheels like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Can't Lead a Vibe, Winnebago. You're going to find it here at, again, the NWA RV show and outdoor party coming up next weekend. Got to set your calendar, set it up for that. There's going to be vendors, bounce house, and so much more this next weekend, April 12th and the 13th. Again, this is an awesome event that Wheels RV has teamed up with. The 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers. So think about, as you listen to this song, did you see the controversy this past weekend with Morgan Wallen and the SNL? I don't think we have a lot of it SNL, but basically he just walked off. It's like, give me the
First, for being a fan of Morgan Wallen, being a fan of the theater, and being a fan of SNL, I've been a theater kid, and I've also, been a fan of Morgan Wallen, and people that like his music probably couldn't stand theater kids to be around them for more than about a week at a time. So the quick exit makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, the good thing about us being in the natural state is we're all around God's country.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a little bleak outside, a little rainy, we've got so many things we could take advantage of. I know a lot of Northwest Arkansas has just like jumped on the biking and everything else. We've got so many lakes across our state that people enjoy all over the place, and we also have this incredible river called the White River. That's where Gaston's White River Resort is. You can always call Clint and Jacob at 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. My parents, so like, you don't even have to fish. Like I was texting my dad. I was texting my dad this morning. He won a big award, by the way. Congrats, Baylor Brad.
Shout out Baylor Brad.
On the award that you just won. But back to my parents, like they just go and they just do the nature and the food thing. And I like crack up. It's like, why don't you go there to fish? That's what they're known for. It's like, we just like just hanging out. It's like, you can do that. And of course, you got the fully equipped cabins. You can cook there if you want. You can go to the restaurant like they do. You can do it all. I personally like to fish. Like I don't fish often. I'm pretty city as most of y'all have come to know here the last 7 years. But I get out there and I can even catch fish. Caught like 23 of them last time. 23. Me. So if I can do it, you can do it. 870-431-5202 for Gaston's White River Resort. Gastons.com. Gaston's White River Resort. A first class time. Every time.
It's Fastbreak Friday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Land off a screen, top of the circle, buries the three-pointer.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
All we have is all we need.
This is the Morning Rush.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt woods and irons, Ping G440 woods and irons, and TaylorMade QI35 woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
We've had such good weather. You kind of knew this was going to happen somewhere. It looks like, we'll make a decision tomorrow morning on tomorrow's game, kind of look at the long range. Obviously, we're in touch with 2 different weather services and getting their opinions and then make a decision on Friday's game and then how we're going to handle Saturday. And, because Saturday we're scheduled to play at 6. If we have to move that up to catch a window to get a game in, that's what we would do. And then somehow between Saturday and Sunday, late afternoon, get 3 games in if we don't play tomorrow.
That was Dave Van Horn yesterday talking about the games, not just today. And I say games, the game today and then potentially the games tomorrow. We will keep updated. I did see Razorback Baseball put out that as of like 20, 30 minutes ago, the plan is still to play tonight. We'll keep you updated here on Halftime and Ruskin and Zach if that changes. Hey, this morning we are brought to you by Pradco, made right here in Arkansas. Whether it's the Rebel Crawfish, the Booyah Finesse Cover Spinnerbait, the Bobby Garland, if I could say it, the Bobby Garland Original Baby Shad, they can do it all for you at Pradco. I know we always love talking with Bruce Stan, Pradco Fishing, each and every Tuesday. And you can always go to LureNet.com for brands like Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. And you're going to get free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35. Treat your favorite fishing buddy or treat yourself today with Pradco. Check out LureNet.com today. One more time, that's LureNet.com. Pradco, made right here in Arkansas. So I think Tommy kind of addressed it earlier this week. And by the way, only mentioned this one other time. Probably should mention this every segment. Tommy traveling today. That's why he hadn't been with us. Clay was doing an interview this morning at 10 o'clock. Also why he was not able to join us today. So that being said, some context included there. Back to the games today and everything else. You don't want to not be able to play 3 games against this terrible baseball team.
Yeah, you want
this is not like football. Like I want to avoid Missouri football because we can't seem to beat those guys. But like this team is terrible. 0-9. There was a stat on them. Let's see. Tigers have lost more games by 7 or more runs than they have by 3 or fewer runs in SEC play. Listen to that one more time. I butchered it, but let me try that again. Tigers have lost more games by 7 or more runs than they have by 3 or fewer runs in this SEC play of those 9 games. This is a bad baseball team. You want at least 2, maybe 3 wins. I just hope the games, as Phil likes to say, get banged out. Oh, gosh. We were talking to the break. I remember the first time he used that phrase. I was like 23. I was laughing like a hyena first time I heard that. I still have the same sense of what's the humor as I did as I was like in middle school. It's never going to change. But that being said, hope the games don't get banged out. Not a one of them. You want 3 opportunities against Missouri and hopefully a chance to sweep another team this weekend, Colton.
Yeah, the Kitty Cats suck at baseball. They're terrible. Never been good as far as I'm concerned in a long time. Long as they've been in the SEC, they've not been a very good baseball program, at least not comparable to Arkansas. So we're counting on the sweep this weekend, at least getting your 2. Hopefully they can squeeze them all in. But at the end of the day, they're not going to let anybody go out there and get struck by lightning or killed or drowned. So I think that they've got to be able to figure out how to at least get 2 in this weekend. But I think they're going to find a way to have the sunshine and get 3.
Well, I hope you're right, and I hope it plays out that way when it comes to this baseball team and the setup this weekend. Again, 7 o'clock tonight is currently where it's an SEC Network game as well, so you can take advantage of that. And, of course, listen to Phil Elson, Bubba Carpenter right here across ESPN Arkansas, most of these stations, hitthatline.com, and our Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. All right, Phil, like I mentioned earlier, Phil Elson in studio today, halftime coming up momentarily. Hey, are you in the mood for something sweet? I know the weather's it's raining right now, but you think about where the weather's heading here across the natural state. It'll get a little warmer here. You need something sweet and delicious. Well, Andy's Frozen Custard, that's the perfect place. Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. They've got their 2 locations in Conway at 201 East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive. Don't forget about the North Little Rock location on JFK Boulevard. Maybe you need something, just a small little sweet treat, or you want to take in the mix and match of Pick 6. That's always an opportunity that you can take advantage of at Andy's Frozen Custard. 4 locations, 2 in Conway, 1 in North Little Rock, 1 in Fort Smith. Walk up to the drive-thru at Andy's. They're ready to serve you. Download the Andy's app from the App Store. We've talked a lot of basketball this morning, had a really good conversations live in San Antonio, Texas with Landon Roberts. He gave us kind of an update on boots on the ground, what's going on in the Alamo Dome tomorrow, and then also Kevin McPherson, talking with him about Nate Ament, the possibility of him coming to campus for this Arkansas basketball program. Both of those will be in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Make sure, if you haven't already, search hitthatline.com. Search Hit That Line or go to hitthatline.com and make sure you subscribe to that podcast. Probably the last fully invested basketball show we'll be doing. It'll go from Fast Break to Fastball Friday starting next week. We'll still talk basketball, of course, but either way, it's brought to you by QC Kinetix. 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234. If you have joint pain and you don't want to go through surgery, you don't want pills, then you can do it again at QC Kinetix with their regenerative treatment. QC Kinetix, one more time, 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetix. For Colton Little, I'm Ty Richardson. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, halftime is next.
Camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway.